Good morning and welcome to Inside the Huddle. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. As I was saying, Steve can't make it this morning. So I'm going to take this opportunity to do a little deep dive into something that I think will be of benefit for all of us. I know right now we've got a lot of agents are doing 10 by 10. A lot of you are doing core. We have the classes going on. We have this every Monday morning. Wednesdays, we're getting a great turnout at the workshop I'm running here in Mission Valley. And on Fridays, Steve is doing the Coach's Corner. So the number of people showing up tells me that agents are looking for everything they can, improve the business, improve your life, hit the numbers you want to hit. A lot of the time, we focus on the outcome. Here's where I want to get. I want to get to this new place. How do I do it? So then we focus on the actions. And that's good. I mean, you have to focus on the performance. But does anybody on this call ever wonder why it's so difficult? I know what my goal is. I know what I got to do. And yet I keep finding myself not doing it. Maybe in the comments or show of hands. Anybody who sees that or feels that going on, because that's what I want to address a little bit today. Let's put it another way. Anybody here ever find themselves saying things like, I'm not comfortable talking to strangers, or I'll call strangers, but I don't want to talk to my friends because I'll be kind of salesy, or I don't want to do video, or I'm good where I am, but boy, going and talking to people with expensive homes, that I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Anybody feel that from time to time? There's a thing going on inside of us that's almost like it's getting in the way. It's trying to block us from doing and being exactly what we want to do and be. And I'm here to say today that you're not crazy. It is there. And we call it fear a lot of the time, but it's not really fear. I mean, you're not afraid that something terrible is going to happen. What we have are programs and patterns. Programs and patterns. Eventually, when I write a book, it's going to be the programs and patterns, patterns and programs. Today, I want to talk to you about programs. Patterns we'll do another time. There are these programs that are running in our minds that are accounting for 95% of what we feel, what we believe, what we think. And then there's this tiny percentage that's in our head where we say, I've got a great goal. You sit down with your sales manager and say, I've got a business plan and I want to hit these numbers. And they're great numbers. It's absolutely a great place to be for you and your family. But why is it so hard? There's these programs that are running. They come from three different areas. They come from adjustments we've made over time, things we've taught ourselves, like, man, I'm so bad remembering names. Or every time I try to do that, it doesn't work. Or whatever negative self-talk that we have. And we all have that. It would be, I wish we could invent a little personal tape recorder that only recorded our self-talk that was in our head. Wouldn't that be a scary thing to listen to at the end of the day? How many times did I say, yay, me? And how many times did I say, oh, I'm so stupid? That's all being recorded, right? That's all being the subconscious where these programs run. It doesn't know good or bad for you. It doesn't know healthy versus it just records what it's told. It just records what you say and what you believe and what you do and says, this is what I'm being told to do. This is the program I'm being told to run. So we've got that self-talk. And then we've got stuff we were taught when we were young, things you don't even hardly remember now. But that all went in there and got recorded. And then there's the most fun one of all that I call genetic memory. This is old. This is memories from generations ago. I wish we could have more interaction. Are you guys sitting there going, geez, I came on to get a little bit of inspirational stuff I can do today. What are you talking about freaking genetic memories for? I'm gonna go with this. Hopefully, you'll see why the reason it's so important. And believe me, we know if we focus on the how, we can get some success, but we all know that it's the why that really impacts us. So I'm a big believer, if you understand what's going on up here, because it's not that complicated. Once we understand it, then we can say, okay, I can change that, I can overwrite that, I can fix that. But we have to understand it. So that's kind of where this is coming from today. So what is this an example of? If you go back to early man, there were certain rules, right? There's one prime directive. You want to here's a Monday morning for you. I hope you guys all stay with me. The prime directive is survive, right? I mean, if you go back to anything that's still alive today, is because it has that prime directive in spades. Survive. That's the whole point of the species. So early on, there were certain things we would do, right? For instance, you never left the tribe, you never left the group. If you were on your own, you were probably dead. Mother Nature, animals, disease would get you very quickly. So whatever the group was doing was the right thing to do. And to try to stand out and be different, to go your own way, almost certainly meant death. Think how powerful that little pattern is. You've got the need to belong to the group. So then the other need you have is not to be ostracized by the group. Don't be kicked out. That was certain death also. So that's like a genetic memory, right? And then we can tie that together to when you're young. If you were told once, you were probably told 1,000 times. Don't talk to strangers. Never talk to strangers. Stranger danger. Why? Because you don't know. A stranger could be bad. A stranger could kidnap you. A stranger could take you. You could die. Everything 6 steps from you could die. Because our prime directive is no matter what, survive. So don't stand out. Don't make changes. Don't talk to strangers. And, you know, I'm not comfortable. At one point when I was 15 years old, I asked a girl out and she said no and laughed. So now I don't like talking to people I don't know, or whatever our story is, right? Think of all that going on underneath the surface. And then here we walk into this business called sales. I'm going to go be a real estate salesman. I want to be very successful in sales. And you sit down in a class, or you sit down with a coach, or you sit down with a manager and say, what should I do? And what do they say? Well, you should stand out. You need to be different. You need to get away from the group. You need to talk to strangers. You need to talk to people you've never met. You need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Good luck with that. Your whole life and for thousands of years of genetic memory, you've been told not to do any of those things. No wonder it's so hard. If we understand that, though, then we can start doing things to change it and make it not so hard. And that's why I'm going into this today. So hopefully you'll pardon the genetic memories, because understanding the why helps us understand the fix. If these programs are running, we often try to get motivated. That's where we're going to overcome our bad habits. But how many times have you been to a motivational speaker and you walk out of that place and you're just walking 2 feet off the ground? How long does it last? It doesn't. Motivation will never carry you where discipline will. Motivation is a depleting resource. It goes away even just around our eating habits. The longer from your last meal, the less motivation we have. That's tested. Right? We cannot rely on motivation to change these patterns that are running, because we can't yank the pattern out, right? It's not a DVD that we can just eject. We have to overwrite them. We just overwrite the program that's running, the thing that the subconscious has been told to carry out. And that we can do. That we can make conscious efforts to do. What you're getting into there is discipline, right? Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is making a decision and then carrying it out consistently. That sounds a lot like a habit, right? That's how we overcome a lot of this. We consciously create a new habit. We don't have to put a lot of effort into the habit. We have to focus on one thing. I'm going to do this again today. I'm going to do this again today. I'm going to do this again today. Every day I'm going to do this thing. I may not like it. It might not be comfortable, but I'm not worried about a lifetime. I'm not trying to yank out a program. We just tell our subconscious, relax, I'm just going to do this one thing, and I'm going to do it every day. Your subconscious says, fine, that goes against the program we have written, but I'll start a new page. I'll start writing this one down. And it doesn't take very long before that one is much more powerful than that other program that's so old it can barely even be recognized. We have to create habits. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this. More people coming in. There's a lot of ways to do this. The main thing is to pick something that is controllable by you right now. Let's not jump off into some massive new change. Let's say that, you know what? Everyone talks about getting up earlier, how important a morning routine is. I'll do it. I'll get up half an hour early, just half an hour. That's not the end of the world. That's a doable thing for almost all of us. And I don't need to win anything. I don't need to become the king of morning routines. What I need to do is do it every single day. All I need to do is prove to myself that I can hold a habit. I can hold an action until it becomes a habit, which has actually been measured by psychologists. The common thing is 66 days. It really depends on what the habit is, but you get the idea. These are physical, real things. Another way, one of the ways that I love, is with vision. Vision is you picturing. You know, we talk about that. Envisioning who you want to be, where you're going, what it's going to look like. And for some, this sounds like, you know, mumbo jumbo, or it's new age, whatever. It's part of that damn morning routine you want me to do. The subconscious isn't very bright. That's the thing here that's so important. That's one of the tricks of the trade, right? It's just like fear. Fear, if you think about fear, the fear we feel before we go do something, it's not very specific. It's very nebulous. It's just an uncomfortable feeling, makes me want to find anything else. It's not well defined. There's a reason for that. Fear is a self-protection system in your body, in your mind, just like pain. It can't be specific. If it was specific, you might figure it out. And if you figure it out, you're going to ruin one of the protective systems that your mind uses. That can't happen. You can deal with fear by just saying, I see you. Here's something that you should write down. Fear flees from the light of recognition. Fear flees from the light of recognition. It doesn't want to be seen. It doesn't want to be understood. Its job is just to alarm you and keep you from something that for 500 years, 5,000 years, whatever you're looking at, you've been told not to do because it's dangerous, like talk to strangers. Fear flees from the light of recognition. So does pain, by the way. If you really want to have fun with this, now I'm going off on a tangent a little bit, pain is also an alarm system. Its job is to keep you from doing something stupid that could hurt you, right? But there's a lot of things we do that aren't going to hurt us now. You might be out exercising every morning, and it's uncomfortable physically. There's some pain involved. My back hurts. My knee hurts. I'm breathing hard. I don't like it. I want you to be healthy. I'm not trying to overdo it. When you feel that pain, try this experiment. Instead of avoiding it, instead of wishing it wasn't there, instead of trying to think about something else, dive into it. Really try to experience the pain. It'll go away. Pain cannot afford to be figured out. It would rather lose this battle than lose the war. It's a protection system that your body requires, and it cannot allow you to actually figure it out and be able to control it. Try it. You will be surprised. The pain will diminish or go away if you focus on it. The same thing happens with our fears. So what are we going to do if we understand this glitch in the system? What's called a glitch in the system, right? I want to make these changes. I know I got these things running, but I know they're not that bright. You can fool them. That's what the vision is. If you envision yourself doing something like spending 1 hour a day, no matter what, making calls, and having people say, yes, I would love to talk to you about my home's value. Yes, I am looking and I am scared, but I think it's time to buy a home. If you envision every detail of it as working out, you know what your subconscious does? Same thing that's always done. It writes it down. It turns it into a program. It doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference between what's actually happening and what you envision clearly, strongly. That's a great way to overwrite that program that we want to have gone, whether it's talking to strangers, talking to our friends and family, getting on the phone, door knocking, or even changing your money story. You ever read I'm sure you've all read the articles, the person who wins the lottery and then 4 years later they go back and visit and they're dead broke again. I mean, that happens so much it's almost become an apocryphal story now. Why? How did someone go from nothing to everything to nothing? Because their money story doesn't fit. It's not congruent. Their money story is, most I've ever had in my bank account is $5,000. That's probably what I deserve. They won't say that. I want to be rich. Everybody says I want to be rich. But somewhere along the line, they learned what their perceived value is in money. And if there's more money in the account than that, they will get rid of it. If you're going to be really honest with yourself, you have to ask yourself, have I ever gotten some big checks, really put some money away, and then where did it go? It went exactly where your subconscious told it to go, out of the bank account, because it didn't match up with your money story. It's another changeable program we're running. We have to envision a new value, a new deserve. You know what I deserve? I deserve to never have less than 12 months reserves. That has to go from I want to I deserve to I believe. You can do that sitting and having coffee 10 minutes every single morning and envisioning it, and it becomes true. That's the powerful glitch that's here. It's not that bright. Whatever it is that you're attempting to do right now, and I hope all of you are looking at this. Again, I started this because I'm watching how many agents are now going to classes and core and 10 by 10. You guys see the market. It's phenomenal, but it's also getting more competitive. I got to be better. I want to increase my skills. I want to take advantage of this. I want to help more people have more success. That's phenomenal. We got to clear out some of those programs that are running. Another great way to do this is with affirmations. Right back to this is what you want me to do in the morning, all this new age stuff. Yes, the envisioning absolutely helps. Affirmations, a well-written affirmation, right? I am. I am is like that tells the subconscious, get out the permanent ink. I'm about to say something very powerful about myself. Now, if you think about how many times during a day we say, I am so bad at this. I am never able to come. Subconscious is writing that down too. Let's be purposeful about it. Let's write 4 or 5 I ams and sit down in the morning and repeat them. You don't have to sit there and do a mantra. You just repeat them 3 or 4 times each. The key is to repeat them with passion, to repeat them with belief, repeat them as if they're already existing. Because all you're doing is having your subconscious write it down, write it down, write it down, groove it in until it becomes true. All right, we've gotten some comments here. I'd love for this to be interactive. If you have questions about how to create those affirmations or visions, that would help. But in the end, what I'm saying to you is we have to have our clear vision. We have to have clarity about who it is we want to become and what we want to do in this business. And we have to know how to do it. But then we have to actually practice it. We have to make a routine out of it. We have to groove it into a habit, which changes that program that's running that keeps getting in the way. One of the ways that I describe this as we have roadblocks. Especially, I work with some new agents also. These roadblocks keep us from moving forward. This is in my way. This fear is in my way. And we keep waiting for it to change. It's like as an agent, I see another agent who's really successful, and I think, see, when I get to that level, when I get there, I won't feel this anymore. It's like trying to reach a destination when in fact all you're doing is reaching a realization. The people who do whatever it is that you're aspiring to do at whatever level still have fear. They still get butterflies. It just isn't a roadblock anymore. I use the analogy back when I was competing in sports. Oh my God, you'd think by your 100th football game or your 1,000th track meet, you wouldn't have butterflies, but you still do. I don't care how good you are, you still get them. What changes isn't that they go away. What changes is you read them differently. They make a new meaning. It goes from, oh, this bothers me, I don't think I can move forward, to, oh, this feeling tells me I'm about to do something I really like. This is the feeling I get right before I go and generate more business for my family. It's not a destination, it's a realization. That's controllable by every one of us. We have to decide to give it a new meaning. Roadblocks into road signs. It went from something in my way to a directional telling me you're on your way. You can make that decision right now. You can turn that into an I am and repeat it to yourself every morning. You can put it in your bathroom mirror where you see it every day. What's interesting to me is how many people hear these kinds of things or read these kinds of things, and I wouldn't say they scoff at it, but it's like, yeah, I'm not going to write things on my mirror, affirmations. And yet almost every person at the top of their game that you know, if it's in sales, if it's athletes, if it's actors, anybody, almost all of them do it. Read their books. If they're doing it, why don't we? Maybe it does work. Isn't it worth 30 minutes of our morning to find out? 30 minutes of our morning. And just doing that, just getting up 30 minutes earlier is already creating a new habit. It's already telling your subconscious, yeah, I'm in control of my habits. I create my disciplines. Does this mean that someday you're going to reach this place where it never bothers you to go talk to an absolute stranger? No. It just means you're going to do it anyway. It won't be debilitating. It'll just be information. That's something we can all use. All right, I'm going to stop there right now. I want to see if there's reactions, questions, thoughts. We went a little deep, and then hopefully I brought it back to where we can use it.
Good morning, Sean.
Yes, Liz.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, I think.
I think you're doing a great job. I think it's fantastic, the energy you're bringing this morning. I think, and I hope you don't mind if I do chime in, so try to make this interactive with some people. I always found that visualizing myself in the event, down to the minutia, visualizing what I'm wearing, visualizing how people are responding to me. I used to do this before every sales meeting. Not used to, I probably still do. Just do it more naturally without much thought, right?
Right.
What am I wearing to the sales meeting? What message am I delivering? How is that being received by people? And always with a really positive expectation. And then the meeting goes well. I think that visualization is the way that they, used to pose it right now. And it goes right along with all of those affirmations. I love this content. And I can see by the way people are commenting that everyone needs this a little bit in their lives, right?
Well, I think so. And I thought, Steve not being able to be here, this was a good opportunity to just kind of to delve into this. And I like how you said it. You envision not only how it's going to get, what you're going to do, but how it's going to go. It's going to be well received.
Right.
And then the funny part is we always go afterward and say, wow, that worked. That did go well.
True.
It's true. I talk to agents all the time who say, oh, I've got 3 listings going up this month. That's fantastic. You know what? It was all that work I did back in December. Mm-hmm. So what are we doing this month? Well, I got 3 listings. That works so well, I'll stop doing it.
That's true.
We just have to understand ourselves, and we can change the patterns however we want. We can create new programs. I'll give you guys one more little, it's not a cheat, it's just a method. I should call it a method. Cheat sounds wrong. If there's something specific that you want to change, there's 3 steps really. First, you have to create absolute clarity. You can't say, I want to have more money, that there will be an extra buck. You'll find a buck on the street. You have to understand how deep this subconscious thing I'm talking about, like this is the issue with I'll try. When you say, hey, I'm going to try that, I'll try my best. I'm going to go try and become X, Y, and Z. You know what your subconscious wrote down? I'll try. You know what that means you can't do? You cannot accomplish. To accomplish means you're no longer needing to try. That goes against the command you just gave it. It's not bright. It doesn't think things through. It just carries out the commands you give it. So I try always means don't accomplish. So I want to have $150,000 in my savings account by the end of the year. That's a clarity, right? That's an exact amount with a time frame, where it's going to be. Fantastic. So start with that. You have something with clarity. The next thing is it has to be congruent with your beliefs. It has to align with what you believe about yourself, who you are, or who you're becoming. So I can't say, I want to have $100,000 in my account and I don't care where it comes from. I do care. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to lie. There's things I won't do. It has to align with who you are. The third thing is you now take this clarity that is congruent with who you are, and you align it with some type of internal belief that is so strong in you, right? We all have values. I shouldn't say belief, but value. We all have values. Some of them are rock solid. You know, I do not lie. I don't lie anytime, anywhere, any place. Okay, so then I align that vision that I have that's congruent with who I want to be, and I say, if I don't do that, that would be me lying. I give it some accountability. I align it with something that I cannot break. I can't do it. If you can put your change into those 3 steps, it will be almost impossible for you not to achieve the change. Clarity, congruence, and then an internally held value that is basically unbreakable. Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts, shares? We've got some great comments. Launching into the new month. Can you guys believe we're already going into the last month of the quarter? Wow. Has the year been picking up as we expected it to? I'll share one last little tidbit with you guys that we came out of one of our Wednesday workshops the other day. This is another, it fits here actually. It's a belief system. What's the biggest problem right now? Inventory. Is it? Did you know in 2021 we sold more homes in San Diego County than any other year ever? That's not really an inventory problem, is it? It's a time on market problem. We have a demand that outstrips inventory problem, but it's not a lack of homes to sell. We sold a record number of homes. This is I need to get there first problem. I need to do what matters to find sellers before they're sellers. There's plenty of people selling their homes. Am I getting my unfair share of it? It's not an inventory problem. It's always an us problem. And the answer always lies right in front of the mirror every single morning. Okay. I heard next time, with Steve's permission, I just got back from a coach's mastermind where we got some great stuff, but it's not organized enough yet. But I am going to leave you guys with a line that I just loved from this. This guy was a very powerful, almost too powerful speaker. I mean, he makes you really think. But he said, if you think the price of success is high, wait till regret shows up with its tab. This is it. This is our time right now. Pick a change, create a new habit, and go get the life you deserve.